what's really essential? That's the focus of tonight's angle. After almost 2 months now of lockdown, America is finally reopening. Golf and NASCAR, they were on television this weekend, and most states are in the process of dismantling their restrictions.
Getting to the beach and for a lot of families is getting back to normal, which is great.
It's a sign of hope. It means that there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
We're grateful, thankful, and appreciative that the judge once again reinstated our First Amendment right. We have a biblical command to do it.
And don't feel comfortable, don't go out. But I'll say this, I think it's great to see things opening back up. It's going to be wonderful for the country.
If you don't feel comfortable, stay home. That's a lot of people are saying. Well, of course, this is an exercise in basic freedoms, and it was met with a Pavlovian response of outrage from the usual lockdown lackeys.
There is still a great deal of trepidation and uncertainty about where all of this is headed, that we're in a very precarious situation right now.
But experts warn that for some states, it's too much too soon.
What I think you should take from it is that we are, in fact, playing with fire here.
Fears of a second wave are persistent, and they are real.
Of course, blue states such as Washington, Michigan, California, and Illinois are still slow-walking their reopenings. But it's hard to see when you really watch what's happening around you. It's hard to see it lasting much longer. While the virus took a devastating toll on the country, hospitalizations coast to coast have either declined or are leveling off. That's good news. And also, some promising vaccine news also came out today from Moderna. And Wall Street reacted well, with the Dow jumping about 4 percentage points. More good news. Of course, we hope and pray the reopening does go well. But now that we've moved past the immediate hospital crisis, it's time we think hard about what these state leaders have done in the name of safety. Now, from the outset, without the involvement of state legislatures, governors told us what was and what was not essential. So only essential businesses could remain open. Liquor stores, pot dispensaries, abortion facilities, pet and garden stores, essential. Churches, gyms, schools, basketball, tennis courts, playgrounds, not essential. So what criteria were used? For many people of faith, communal service is essential, and arguably for them, the most essential thing in their lives. And while I'm really glad I could buy mountain bikes for my sons a few weeks ago, why are those shops open, but outdoor exercise classes not allowed? So we see this as all subjective. It's all subjective in the end, and it's driven usually by unaccountable technocrats. But it has profound consequences for our lives. Only now we know just how screwed up the Imperial College projections were. We talked about that, I believe, in early April, but now everybody understands it. No wonder the chief modeler, Neil Ferguson, wouldn't share his computer code with anyone that he used to derive those projections. Now that we survey the carnage, human and economic, we should take stock of what really is essential. Number one, better experts. It's time to clear out the cobwebs. Why are people who screwed up so badly in the past still in their jobs in the private and public sector? They keep getting it wrong, and they keep staying in their jobs. Why? Number two, civil liberties, obviously essential. Freedom to petition the government, freedom to associate, freedom to worship, freedom of speech, freedom to disagree with the prevailing winds. Well, these rights are inalienable. They can only be abridged for a narrowly tailored purpose, not indefinitely.
I'm here because, we all deserve freedom.
We've done everything we've been asked to do. Enough is enough.
I think Americans need to realize their freedoms are being taken away. And if they don't stand up for them right now, there won't be any freedom to stand up for.
These rights are arguably more important during the crisis that we're in right now than during the good times. Now, I remember when liberals used to believe this. Now the American Civil Liberties Union, well, it seems to only exist to defend illegal immigrants and maybe abortion rights or transgendered persons perhaps, but these things that we've been deprived of these last 2 months, don't hear from the ACLU. Number three, Teaching the Constitution is essential. How many today really know what it says, what it means, why it even matters? Why does the Declaration matter? Well, these documents ultimately protect us from a government drunk on its own power, one that ends up subjugating its own people for their own bottom line or their own status or their own good. Number 4, a prosperous economy is essential. That means not just for the elites at the top, but for the middle class and entry-level workers as well.
We all been furloughed. We're not getting paid.
I'm just burning through everything now just to pay my bills.
My wife is a small business owner as well. We actually ended up having to close the doors there. So obviously that crippled us.
Democrats' answer is socialism. And that's only going to bring misery. We've seen it across the globe. Over the decades, the last century, we've seen it. A growing economy means a healthier America across the board. Number 5, ending social media censorship is essential. If something or someone doesn't comport with the WHO's guidelines on COVID-19, guess what? If you put that in a video, you post that, your point of view, maybe with even evidence, it'll be pulled down.
Anything that would go against World Health Organization recommendations would be a violation of our policy. And so remove is another really important part of our policy.
Unbelievable. Now, in a moment, you're going to hear from my next guest, a victim of such censorship, a renowned epidemiologist and biostatistician. Number 6, science that isn't infected by money or politics is essential. From climate change to COVID-19, we've seen far too many members of the permanent medical establishment maybe compromised, or at least the appearance of being compromised, by ties to big pharma or maybe even their own political proclivities. That has to end. That has to end in order for more Americans to trust new vaccines, other treatments, or even just their point of view on issues. And number 7, you, the American people, you are essential. Your voices, your hard work, your devotion to family, to your faith, to playing by the rules. This is your government. They work for you. Never let them forget that. You've always had more good sense than most of the so-called experts out there who want to order you around and enjoy it. Keep punching back. Keep questioning. Don't be afraid. You have a president who wants you to be healthy, who wants you to be prosperous, but most of all, who wants you to be free. Because without freedom, the rest really doesn't matter all that much. And that's the angle.